Hey, how's it going, everybody? It was RLCS this past weekend, and unfortunately for the production team, it's been met with a little bit of pushback. The budget is being felt, I think, across the board, and I figured we would talk about it, maybe provide some perspective, and discuss the good, bad, and the ugly. And unfortunately, there's a lot more ugly than there is good. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, during the RLCS this past weekend for the North American Regional 1 qualifiers and main event, there was some hiccups, to say the least, with the new production team Blast Premier. When it doesn't go on without a hitch, everybody already is looking for you to make mistakes, cause frustration, and that's going to be paired then with resistance to change and everything else. So I think the problem is that there's a couple things that are very, very much so preventable, and then there's other things that, as someone who has worked in production and has been part of these things, this stuff happens all the time. First things first, when you're talking about the results and stuff, if you guys didn't talk or see my breakdown, we covered that in yesterday's video. Make sure you guys go check that out. But like, they posted the leaderboard stats, and apparently everybody's tied for 0th place. And some of these things do happen. Sometimes it's a software thing that it doesn't just push over. You want to see like differentiation. There's little things that you can do for adding like gold, silver, bronze, just little things to separate or create some indication. I think lower ticker stuff is fine. All of that's okay, but people are literally just trying to find any little thing. Sometimes when you switch over visuals and you have your chat vote and these are the opposite side, you guys even seen me do that, where I just have to click the switch sides button. The difference though is I'm not running a AAA production company. I'm just one person in his room with a second stream PC, and the buttons are over there and I'm sitting here. So it's a little bit different. You even saw it in the grand finals, and you've got G2 Rebellion. Shopify just played in the previous round, and you're getting complications. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but to the teams that are spending a lot of money for title partnerships, the fact that this says G2 Rebellion instead of G2 Stride, if I'm G2, I am furious, because we have a title partnership. That's the reason they're paying for that spot, and I bet you the Stride partnership is now really upset. And that's backlash and things that they have to deal with. So these little things are what pull product, pull sponsorships, pull support out of the scene. And it's irritating. There was also a lot of people on the subreddit talking about things being disappointing. One person in particular said, and this one had a lot of upvotes, it's been terrible. The low budget look on top of all the lack of casters, caster quality, and hearing 4 casters total over an entire weekend makes it seem like a shell of its former self, and almost like they don't care anymore. Any excitement I have for the season has almost completely been destroyed. I think that's a little extreme. Also, I hate to break it to you, but just about every other esport has only 4 or 5 casters. You have a host, you have a couple caster duos, and that's it. You're going to get a new grouping of casters for EU, but people are losing their minds over things as if like having only a couple pair of casters is not outside the norm. We have been spoiled. It is not that big of a deal. And while, yes, you may have some of your favorites, and yes, we do miss them, team streams are available, watch parties are available, and by all means, if you want to make your voice heard, go and support the team streams or the watch parties of these casters or these people that you enjoy. If you don't want to watch the main stream, no one is stopping you to do that. But to be upset that we only have 2 in rotation isn't out of the norm. That's pretty standard for esports, and we've just had a bunch otherwise. I think most of the grievances that I'm seeing on the subreddit, I can understand. I think it's silly to be like, hey, we messed up some graphical stuff. It happens with production. I'm sure they're getting harped on it in their post-mortem where they discuss the pros and cons of how the show went and everything, but should be fixed for the next week. I do like some of the adjustments that they've made with the contrast on the high quality settings. I think the game itself looks better. Even though Rocket League in itself is a very CPU intensive game when it comes to encoding. But the one thing that I don't want to look past is the social media, because it has been abysmal. Like, we're lucky that this one had a clip associated to it. Some of the things that they've been tweeting, like, hey, tomorrow's matches are the teams, and they tag just the players. And to not even tag the teams is like a massive slap in the face. To not even do matchup graphics, to not even do supporting things of that, to literally just tweet people's names and stuff. Well, yes, to have this out of touch as if it's Call of Duty type tweet and stuff, I do not understand. I don't know who the social media person is, but I do know that they chose not to bring Lucas back, and it's showing. How is this the efforts that are like, I just don't understand how it could be such a step back. Like, it just feels so disassociated to what they're trying to accomplish. And while that not seem like much, it doesn't seem like it's a big deal. It really is, because when you are a marketing team, which by all means, Blast has taken over. Blast is now in charge of the marketing of this esport. The more eyes on it, the more attention it pulls, the more viral tweets go, the better it is for the space. It's little things like this that are controllable that make a massive difference in the results moving forward. I think it's frustrating. I think people are looking for reasons to blame them, and I think a lot of them probably not as justified as I think people want to make them. I don't think these graphical issues that people put on the subreddit are really that big of a deal. It happens. Software breaks. Sometimes those things get frozen. It happens. Hopefully they clean it up. If it ends up being a consistent issue, sure, by all means, shame on them. I do like some of the things that they have done for in-game viewership, but like, the thing you can control is your social media. You have the ability to put someone on and say, hey, this is a formula template. These are things that we can do better. And like, it's just not okay. It's just not acceptable. It's low-hanging fruit stuff. And I don't know how they're letting it happen. So I think a lot of people are going to be looking to potentially go to other places where they're going to be rewarded for their efforts. I think case in point, you can go look at the time, attention, and detail that the LG team stream has put in with the fraud car, the fraud cop car, and the stuff that Spaceman and Corelli are doing. Like, why would I ever watch the mainstream and the main broadcast when I can go watch those two chuckleheads give me some of the best laughable content I've seen in a really long time for a team stream? You've got the RL Esports marketing team doing what they are with the social media now, and then you go and look at how LG has not only brought those guys in, but their production person, Britton, Corelli, and Spaceman are now all verified on Twitter with the LG logo, showing that not only do they support the guys and they're going to be the mouthpieces, but then they give them production and creative freedom on the broadcast to do something unique and fun and exciting. And yes, you may be not a diehard LG fan. You may not be there to support that team. You at least will be entertained. You will enjoy the show and enjoy the memery that is happening, whether they're winning or not. It is something that could be learned from. Everybody could learn from what's going on over there, and that also applies to the main broadcast team. LG should not be showing up your Premier League. That's basically what I'm getting at. I think people's first impressions, people were looking to be disappointed, and now that they have been in certain degrees, it's only going to get worse. It's kind of similar to the regards of, if you're an RLCS pro, you work really, really hard to break into the RLCS, to get signed to a top 16, top 8 team. But you have to work even harder to prove that you still belong there. Despite having a 4-year deal, is going to really have to do that if they want to swing the opinions of the RLCS fan base. And right now they're falling behind. So I'm very interested to see how it plays out. I'm very interested to see on how they end up doing. But yeah, people upset about stuff going on right now, and I think some of it justifiable, some of it a little bit over the top. But curious to hear what you guys thought. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys agree with some of the frustrations, or do you think people are good just looking to complain about literally anything? Because that's kind of what the timeline's been. Either way, let me know. If you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.